Hello, YouTube. I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you are interested in purchasing my book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. Do I look like Cousin It? I think I do. I'm just trying to be humorous. Okay. So this is a comment that I get all the time. I stopped answering these comments years ago because I've been doing this for like 8 or 9 years. Now, let me tell you something. If I followed the advice of all of the commenters on my channel, I would be living under a bridge. That's not an exaggeration. Now, we know that in America, in Australia, in the UK, and everywhere else, 80% of people do not have their stuff together when it comes to finances. 8 out of 10 people are in debt. 8 out of 10 people have credit card debt. 8 out of 10 people have no retirement savings. 8 out of 10 people have no emergency fund. 8 out of 10 people have a car loan. All of this stuff. It's always 80%, 80%, 80%. So you have to remember that 80% of the people who are giving you advice have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. I will give you a couple of examples, and I'm going to put this down on paper so that a kindergartner could understand this. But in the meantime, I want to give you a couple examples. A while back, I made a video about how I had taken, I think it was $12,000, and I put it in crypto. And I had the idea of like putting it in crypto for like 2 years to save up enough money to buy a Toyota Sienna. And literally overnight, like in a couple of weeks, it like quadrupled. So I had my $12,000 that turned into like 50 or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact dollar amounts, and I really don't care to look it up. And I actually ended up deciding against getting a Toyota Sienna. Why? Several reasons. Number one, my 98 Toyota Camry, which is 26 years old, it just hit 100,000 miles. I filled up on, I want to say January 1st or December 31st. We're now into mid-February, and I have driven exactly 30.7 miles. Well, probably 36 because I looked at it before I took a trip with the dogs. 36 miles in a month and a half-ish. Maybe, yeah, a little bit-ish. Now, when people go and make a purchase on something they don't need, they do exactly what I was doing. They are justifying in their mind why they need that thing. What I was doing is I'm like, okay, well, Rocky's getting old, and I was thinking back to when I had to go to my rental property and how much easier it would have been if I had a minivan. Making all these trips to Home Depot, we had to rent trucks and vans to get all these parts and stuff like that. And then I've got these e-bikes. Sometimes I have to take them on trips and they don't fit in my car, and just all these other inconveniences, which would have been much more convenient if I had a minivan. And then I'm like, okay, well, when I travel, I'm not going to pay these $200 hotel bills. It's just not going to happen. That's not me. It's not worth it. So I'll just sleep in my van. And again, hold on. Okay, so sleeping in my van and all this fun stuff. Shut up! That's the only way I can get him to stop for 2 seconds. Sleeping in my minivan, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, I've had my car for my 98 for about 5 years. I haven't even put 30,000 miles on it, maybe, I don't know exactly. I don't drive it. I walk or e-bike I walk or e-bike everywhere. It makes no financial sense to take that investment and turn it into a depreciating asset where the second I drive it off the lot, it goes from $50,000 down to like $35,000. There's no way I'd be able to sell it for what it's worth. Okay. So, and as I look at my investment in crypto, which I don't recommend, I can't recommend it because it's too volatile. It's not backed by anything. It's purely speculative. We don't know where it's going. It's a brand new technology. I just happened to do it on a whim and got lucky. And 90% of people who buy crypto lose money. 90%. I looked it up. So I don't recommend crypto. It's just that I happen to get lucky on a one-time shot. So I have all these people telling me, sell it and buy the Toyota. Well, I don't want the Toyota anymore. It doesn't make any sense to me. And plus, the insurance, the registration, the maintenance would be triple or quadruple what I'm paying right now on my Camry, because I do all my own maintenance. And I hardly use any gas. It gets like 35 miles to the gallon. And a Toyota Sienna gets like 20. So it's like half, almost. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I get people who say all the time, or I get it constantly, is that you shouldn't sell your rental property. You should rent it out again. Look, I rented it out for 2 years and I lost money. So, even if I were to make any sort of financial gain within the next 2 years, I'm looking for a 4-year return on investment, and that's not going to happen. So I'm trying to sell it. If I don't sell it, I'll keep it. Sure. I'll turn it into I don't know, it's not going to be a vacation property or retirement property. Maybe I'll go retire there. Who knows? But, it's not something that I want to keep. I tried the landlording and I hated it. It's not for everyone, and it's definitely not for me. That's for sure. Because I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that house, and two people just walked in and destroyed it. Set it on fire. It's nothing's, and for those of you who tell me I should have done this, should have done this, should have done this, should have done this, I love when people say you should have done after the fact, but I did all of those things. Every single thing someone tells me I should have done, I did it. I did every single thing, and I get really tired of people telling me what I should have done after the fact, and I already did it. It's like they watch the video and they don't listen to a single thing I say. They don't look at my community posts where I listed every single thing I did. They just don't listen, and it gets really irritating. It's like talking to a wall. Like, you need to listen, not just watch, listen. And every single video I make, there's a comment saying something, you should have done this. Okay, at the 216 mark, I said that I did it. I said it twice. Why didn't you hear it? Twice. And I feel like I have to repeat myself over and over and over. Now, one of the things that you get on a financial YouTube channel, one thing I have to say is, if you are going to emulate somebody, you're going to copy somebody, you want to be more like somebody, make sure that you look up to that person, that they have integrity, moral standards, and make sure if it's about finances, they have more money than you with more experience, wisdom, and knowledge. Otherwise, you're going to be living under a bridge because you followed the advice of some idiot that told you to do something and you did it without researching. And that's how people lose millions of dollars. So when it came to this car, taking $50,000 out of investment that is projected to quadruple again in the next 1 year, and like I said before, I hope you're listening to this, I planned on putting that in there for 2 years, and that was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago maybe. I planned on putting it in there for 2 years anyway. I'm just going to leave it there. It's not coming out. And if you're going to say, I think you should take it out, I don't want your advice. I don't want it. All right. I'm going to keep it there as an investment because investments make money and spending it on a car loses money. So I'd rather make money than lose money. Okay. And I'm going to just flip the camera around and show a quick little, just on a little Post-it note thingy, why I think 80% of people are making such huge mistakes and how you can avoid this mistake. So let's do it. All right, so this is as simple as I can get it, folks. You have, let's say, $20,000 that you want to invest. Over time, that $20,000 then turns into $100,000. And then that $100,000 then turns into $150,000. All from your initial investment of $20,000. What most people do is they say, okay, I have no money. I have no emergency funds. I have negative $10,000 in credit cards. I owe $10,000 on my student loan, and I owe $30,000 on my mortgage. That's a total of $50,000. right? So they're going to sit there and they're going to start justifying things in their mind, and they're going to say, okay, well, my $20,000 is now right about here in the middle and it's worth about $50,000. So if I pay off all my debt with this $50,000, then it only really costs me $20,000. So I'm going to take out that $50,000 that's right there, and I'm going to go ahead and pay off my debt. Now, what people end up doing is they pay off their debt, but since they don't have any financial education, in about 3 years, you are again in $50,000 worth of debt. Because what happens? You pay off your credit card, your student loan, your mortgage, whatever, and then you're like, I'm debt free, yippee! I need a new car, so I'm going to go take out a car loan and get a $50,000 car. That's what people do when they're not financially educated. Now, what you got to realize is that this $50,000, which is now a couple years later, they're in $50,000 worth of debt again. But that $20,000 they originally put in that they took out when it was worth 50, and then plus they had to pay the 45% tax on it because that's what our government likes to do. That would have been worth, by the time you retired, $150,000. So you didn't lose $20,000. You lost $150,000. So these people who keep telling me to take out my $50,000 investment and buy a depreciating asset, which is a car. That's my car. Looks more like a ladybug, but I'm going to go buy a car, which by the time I retire, it's going to be worth about $2,000 when it could have been worth $150,000. This is where people make the biggest mistake. You're not just losing out $20,000 that you invested. You're losing out $150,000 that it could have been. Stay smart, folks. Get out of debt. Stay out of debt. Don't listen to other people about taking out your money from your 401k or whatever investment you've got that's poised to go up 5x. Don't listen to people because you're going to end up under a bridge. Well, it's just like when people told me I should just sell both my houses and then upgrade to a big $500,000 house. It's not going to happen, people. It's not going to happen because $500,000 house will quadruple or quintuple my property taxes. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. Oh, where you going? What you got there?